So you're thinking about moving right here to Texas, and maybe you haven't narrowed it down yet. Maybe you haven't even picked between Houston, Dallas, or Austin, and maybe you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed with the thought of all of the steps involved in moving to a new state, uprooting your lives, changing kids' schools, and it can be a daunting thought, but there is a tried and true method to make it exceptionally smooth and exceptionally simple. And in today's video, I'm gonna walk you through that method. We've perfected it here at Ferris Realty. We have tons of clients call us every single day, people just like you watching our videos online on YouTube, trying to figure out if Houston is the right fit for them or even just Texas in general. And so if that is you, you're gonna wanna stay tuned because I'm gonna walk you through our process as to how we take you from watching this video right now to closing on your new Texas dream home. So let's get after it right now. Okay, so before we dive into step one, we really need to start with step zero, and this isn't a sales pitch. I highly recommend that you reach out to our team. We're going to walk you through all of our process in this video, give you tips and tricks as to how to do things smoothly and how to time out your move better. But really, you're gonna want us walking you through this process. Sometimes this process can take well over a year, and so you really want us in your corner. We do this every single day. So that's step zero, is reach out to our team. But step one, when you are looking to move to Texas, is really to just narrow down the general area of where you'd like to be. And what I mean by that is, do you wanna be in Houston? Do you wanna be in Dallas? Do you wanna be in Austin? And you might not be able to do that without actually coming to town. You might need to take a trip, but if you can do it through watching our videos online or watching some other similar channels in other marketplaces, then that's going to help you. So step one is gonna be narrow down the general area. So after you've done that, let's just say that you decide you wanna be somewhere in the Houston suburbs. You like what Houston stands for, you like the possibilities, the affordability, the cost of living, maybe the freedoms, whatever it is, you like it, and you know that you want that general area. Then step two is going to be to plan a preliminary trip. You're gonna wanna get here because we can teach you through video, we can show you inside of homes, we can do a lot online. It's not the olden days. You don't need a realtor to show you homes on little flyers or pieces of paper. You can see pretty much all the homes right there online, but what you can't do is you can't get that feeling that you get when you drive into that perfect neighborhood, that dream neighborhood that you're looking for. And so you're gonna wanna set a preliminary trip. When you do that, you're gonna work closely with our team. We're gonna make sure that our calendars are blocked off. We're gonna meet you at the beginning of that preliminary trip, give you a crash course on the area, and then we're gonna set you free to go out and explore. So number two is get a preliminary trip. Number three, in the meantime, once we have that trip on the calendar, we're gonna get you set up on a home search. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna get our team on the same page as you, and it's really going to help us narrow down whether or not your budget is realistic for what you're wanting. A couple great questions that I ask clients is, how much does your dream home cost? Find it for me online, send it over to me. How much does it cost? That's a really good question to ask to see if your budget and your expectations are realistic. If they are, then that's great. If they aren't, then we need to readjust. We either need to change that budget or maybe come to the conclusion that we need to look in a different area. And so that's step three, is get that home search dialed in. That way, you're not waiting till you're here to understand the market, you're educating yourself. That way, when you do come on your preliminary trip and we drive around, you can make those reference points to your search that you've been on, the homes that we've discussed, that we've talked about, and then you can possibly even go and drive by some of them. So step four on the trip is going to be, and I can't emphasize this enough, everybody wants us to just show them houses. And while we're happy to, at the end of the day, the highest and best use of your time when you're coming to explore the area is time in the car. And some people do this better than others, but ultimately the people that trust us when we say you just need to spend time in the car, those are the ones that narrow down the area quickest. Those are the ones that get the best feel for the area. And ultimately, those are the clients that I find end up being the happiest in the long run because they put the time in to really understand the area before making a big decision. A lot of clients ask us, hey, should I rent first in order to kind of get to know the area a little bit better and then purchase? And my answer to that is most of the time, not at all. I think between us asking you the right questions and then really you spending that time in the car, you can see what we're talking about visually and start to narrow it down very quickly. Usually in a 2 to 3 day period of active looking, you can really start to refine where it is exactly that you want to be. So that's number 4, is explore in the car. Number 5 for us is going to be, from there, narrow down which area is going to be best for you. So you're taking from the whole Houston area, maybe to one specific suburb. Maybe it's Katy, maybe it's Conroe, whatever it is, you start to narrow down that area. And so that's number 5. Once you've done that, then you'll go to step number 6, which is hop back into your home search and narrow it down even more on the home search. From there, you want to make sure that you're seeing consistent options that you'd be happy with in your price range. And as long as those things are all lining up, then you're really starting to narrow it down. So that's step 6. Once you've done that, you really want to select that ideal neighborhood and possibly some of the builders that are in that neighborhood. And so you've driven around, you've identified homes in certain neighborhoods. You really need at this point to start deciding, whether or not you want new construction or a resale home, because as you drive through these neighborhoods, they're gonna have different timelines involved. And depending on when it is you're trying to move, knowing these things is very, very important. And so that leads me to number 8. You really need to identify what your timeline is. Some people come into town and they're ready to purchase a home on that trip. And if that's the case for you, that trip's gonna look very different than if you're just really kind of trying to feel out the area. If you're just trying to feel out the area, you really just wanna drive around, spend time in the car, maybe go through some model homes to get a feel for what you can get for your money. But if you're here actively shopping, then we want to narrow down the area in the first 2 or 3 days, and then we want to get you into houses. And so that's number 8, is going to be identify that moving timeline, start comparing the timelines of what purchasing a new home would look like versus a resale home. And then from there, number 9 is you want to coordinate the sale of your home where you're coming from. And so if you do have a home for sale, not everyone does, but if you do, that is definitely a conversation that you need us to walk you through. It can be very tricky in timing out whether or not you need to sell that home before you purchase, how you're going to contract on a home here. If you haven't sold that home yet, if you can get a contingency from a builder in order to go ahead and contract to build a home without having to sell that home yet, whether or not you want to get a bridge loan and purchase here and then use that equity from your home you currently have there to buy this home here. And I can go on and on and on, and that there's probably plenty of time to make a whole other video just on this topic. But that being said, you really want to talk to us so that we can plan out the best way for you to move. One of the things we run into frequently is people not wanting to move twice, meaning they want to sell their home where they're at, they want to close on the home here, and they don't want their stuff to be in storage, they don't want to have to go and get a lease. And there's multiple ways to accomplish this goal, but if you don't work closely with somebody that knows what they're doing and does this day in and day out, you might end up homeless for a short period, and that can be avoided in most cases. And so that's step number 9, is coordinate the sale of your home where you live. And then step 10 is going to be, go ahead, once you have closing dates set, you've contracted on your home. At that point, we will guide you on when the best time to go ahead and schedule those movers is going to be. You're going to want to hire a moving company, schedule those movers, and really we're going to be the ones that help you coordinate on exactly when to do that based on how the contract reads and based on when we think we're going to close on the home. So as you can see, there's a very clear laid out process for this. There's some smaller steps in between, but I wanted to give you the 10-step overview of what it looks like to go from watching this video right now to moving into your dream home. It really is simple. It's not always easy, but it is simple. And if you trust us in the process, I promise you that we will help you make that smooth move right here to Houston, Texas. So if you've got any other questions, leave them in the comments below. We want to hear from you. Every single person's move is different. I think that's important to understand. We approach every single client as a new client, essentially, with a new reason for moving. And so we don't just blanket statement with these 10 rules. Everybody's situation is different. And so we're going to apply a very unique plan just for you. But we do know what we're doing. We would love to help you guys out. So like we say, don't be shy. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us a quick email. We would love to help you make a smooth move right here to Houston, Texas. Now go check out our next video.